Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Movies Are Real, a mega episode, ultra stuffed episode, where we're going to talk about April and May, which is not, one of those is the month prior. The other one's the month before that one, because we're late. I'm George. I'm here with Ryan Lance.
Hello. April movies bring May movies.
Pretty good.
I know. That's the tagline of this episode.
Carrie, you have a Diet Dr. Pepper. That's different for you. I don't remember you usually having that one.
That's my current soda fixation.
Oh.
It's all Diet Dr. Pepper all the time. It's refreshing, crisp, and delicious.
This reminds me that I forgot to send you a photograph that the AMC has the Sprite Chill slushie.
Oh.
Slushy.
Yeah, that's
that
pretty
sounds delicious. Sprite Chill, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper Coconut, also very good.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet.
I'm not a coconut man.
I like
unfortunately,
Do not
so
drink it. It's very coconutty.
yeah, I wouldn't. Somebody doesn't like coconut. I would not appreciate something that says coconut on. I was like, I wonder if I like this.
But if your mom got it for free, then gave it to you, you'd be like, oh, well, I have to drink this.
Oh, obviously. If someone gives me something that's like a new weird soda, I'd be like, of course. That's why I had that weird Coca-Cola coffee.
Oh, that was the worst.
Oh, it was terrible.
I don't remember this at all. Oh, yes, I do.
It was like it was like a cold coffee thing. This was like a cold brew, and I don't like coffee to begin with because I never acquired I feel like in high school you acquire the taste for coffee.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm already addicted to soda. I can't do this again. So I never got that taste for coffee. And it mixed with Coke is not good. But Coke, I feel like, is 50-50 whether it mixing with something is either like really good or really bad. Just because I'm not as much of a Coke man. This is also a soda podcast. I don't know if people know that. Popcast.
I haven't had a fun soda flavor recently, so I can't contribute, actually.
Did you ever get the Sprite Chill?
Oh, the good stuff. That's good stuff.
It is good stuff.
Big fan of it. I don't see it that much, though.
I went to multiple gas stations finding that after Carrie told me about it. It just upset me because you had a 12-pack, and I went to multiple stores, and there was
the flavors are usually
Sprite,
easier to find in bigger quantities than a single.
I didn't even see them in bigger quantities. I had to go to the shabbiest gas station to find it.
My go-tos are Hy-Vee for big packs and Come and Go for the 20 ounces.
This is not a podcast about soda, though.
This is not a podcast.
This is not.
This is a little more higher art than that.
This is its own flavor of beverage for your ears. Yes, this is an episode where we're going to talk about April and May because life, folks, and so we haven't had a chance to record, and we got to catch the fuck up. And would you believe it or not, Sasquatch Sunset, a movie that came out that I did not watch, but Carrie and Ryan, I did not watch this because I thought it was a little too crude for me, a little too not my taste. But you cretins saw this movie.
It was an early screening, and I like seeing those just because the vibes are everyone's always surprised. No matter what, and this was a movie where, boy, was everyone surprised. And if you thought the trailer was crude, I got some great news for you. The movie is very sexually charged in a lot of ways, including two characters' main story arcs throughout the movie seem to be just them getting some wiener time.
And for those who are not familiar, this is a movie where Riley Keough, Jesse Eisenberg are in full Sasquatch getup. Mm-hmm. Just so you know, and then
unrecognizable.
Yeah, almost. Very impressive makeup work in this one.
Yeah. So tell me, is this movie? Is there a narrator? Is it like a documentary, or is it just we're just hanging out with these Sasquatch characters?
There's no narration or anything like that. It's just kind of fly on the wall watching this Sasquatch family traverse this forest and try and survive.
Is it good?
I thought it was pretty good. It was a little
There's no dialogue, actually, real quick.
Yeah, no.
No, it's just grunts.
Yeah, it's
basically.
just Sasquatch noises and Sasquatch screeching.
Yes.
So, it was a little... I don't know how to put it. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. I thought it would be a little more whimsical and mystical, and it's not really that at all. It's just kind of very matter of fact.
Yes, it's these are four just apes in the wild, just doing Sasquatch. Their thing. Yeah, well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the most way it's narratively divided is like it feels like it's in like 3 or 4 chapters, and like each one like is more focused on a certain Sasquatch. Because like when it first began, it was about the more older male Sasquatch. And his journey, which was mostly him being horny.
Which is Nathan Zellner, who I don't know who that is, but he's one of the directors of this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it followed, if I remember right, Jesse Eisenberg's, because after some stuff happens to the older one, he has to basically be the leader. And then after that, it follows Riley Keough and like the younger baby Sasquatch as like the more point of view Sasquatch. So there's that bit of that, and you know, you do kind of understand through like the grunts and like the nonverbal communication, like what everyone's about and what their goal is. Becomes clear that their main goal as they're walking is to find more Sasquatches, just because they seem to feel like they're the only ones there. Because in multiple times they're doing this like ritualistic thing where they are basically trying to call out for more Sasquatches. So that seems to be like their main goal as a group. And then there's obviously their individual wants and needs. So there is a story, but it is mostly about silly, nonverbal, goofy, grunty, silly stuff. And it wasn't, you know, I respect it a lot. And there were some bits that were really, really good. There was a bit where they used a turtle as a phone. That was pretty good. But overall, another movie much like Poor Things, a little too horny for me.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
A little too horny for me. When the characters, their main goal is, you know, their wieners, then I'm like, I don't know. Can't relate.
They are wild animals.
Yes, but like...
Carrie, before I posit an ultimate question about this movie, do you have anything else to say about this?
No.
Okay. Who would you recommend this movie to? Like, it's a weird pitch for a movie.
Greg, our friend Greg. I think I'd recommend it to him.
Greg would be bored if he watched this.
That's true. Well, then I'm out of people.
That's the thing that I'm like, people listen. I don't know what's the kind of person who listens to this podcast. Maybe it's someone who also watches everything like we do and they just want to hear more takes. Or maybe they're just like, these people watch a lot of weird stuff. What is this? And you hear... I feel like if I was the listener, I'd be like, Sasquatch movie. Huh. Okay? And then it's just noise. Like, I don't know what am I supposed to do with this information of this movie?
You are, like me, a connoisseur of the bizarre. I think you would enjoy this movie.
Okay.
It's certainly also different than most other movies you'll see, especially because it's
Sasquatch related.
It's Sasquatch related, and you know, it's a comedy. It approaches all that stuff in a very different way. So if you want to see something very different, you know, I guess I would recommend it to you. But yeah, this isn't a movie that like I'd like tell someone's parents. Like, I would not tell my mom and dad to be like, you guys gotta see Sasquatch Sunset. So I guess just film weirdos, I guess. Right. If they're morbidly curious.
I'm just curious, like, how do you
But it's not my thing, but it's clearly well made. It's made with a lot of love, and the makeup stuff is really good, and all the nature stuff is great. You know, getting Riley Keough and Jesse Eisenberg in on it is impressive, and you know, they're clearly very passionate about it if they wanted to be at that level of makeup for hours.
Yeah.
So clearly it was made with a lot of passion, so I respect it for that. So, you know, if you got an hour and a half to kill, but don't want to like wake up your sleeping baby, then yeah, I think that would be good.
Bizarre, surreal movie to have playing like in a doctor's office or something. Anyways.
Yeah, that's not going to be on TBS when you're getting your teeth cleaned.
Anyways, The First Omen is the next movie on this list. Boy howdy, does this feel like a long time, but boy howdy, is this one of the best movies of the year. Woo! This is a prequel to the original Omen. Not to be confused with Lieb Schreiber, 2006 film.
It would have been so amazing if at the very end they're like, actually, this is a prequel to the 2006.
And then Liv Schreiber comes out of nowhere. And yeah, so this is the second notable nun movie of 2024.
Came out 2 weeks after Immaculate, I believe.
Immaculate feels like a lifetime ago, also, by the way. So we have this nun here who is it Italy?
I believe so.
Yeah, they're in Rome.
So yeah, she's taking she's gonna be with her.
She's from America and she moves to Rome to finish her like nun vows or whatever
they
they're called.
recruit her basically.
Yes.
Yeah. And then some weird stuff starts happening. And the stuff goes a little freaky deaky. So yeah, I don't even know where to start with this other than this movie is so good because there is in no world that I expect the prequel to the nun. Not I was gonna say the nun. God damn it. The prequel.
Now we're talking.
The prequel to the Omen in 2024, put out by Fox, to be of anything of note, other than like just like 20%, 2.5 stars nonsense. But this movie is shot so goddamn well. It wears its inspirations on its sleeve. It wears its inspirations all over its fucking outfit and underneath its knees and on the street. It is bold. It is visually striking. It has a Ralph Ineson in it. We love him, don't we, folks?
Yes.
This is a hell of a nun movie. I don't know, Carrie. What do you have to say about this?
I'm in the exact same spot as you because I remember when we first saw the trailer, just based on it being what it is, I was like, oh, brother.
This was after Exorcist, I think, also, right? So we were like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. And so I went in expecting it to be kind of just not very good or just at least unremarkable. And it was totally not that. It was amazing. And I loved it very much. The lead performance from Nell Free, she's incredible. And it goes harder than any other horror movie I've seen this year in the theaters, I'd say. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah. She definitely, as we know, this film has some inspirations, including a certain possession. And when you're doing stuff similar to that film, that's a bold choice. And she is able to really capture that manic wildness, which is very impressive. And then you're like, all right, here we go. But yeah, I think I like this less than you guys, but I like it a lot and I respect it. And it's just a nice, good, creepy nun time.
Yeah, it is it has a very, I don't know what the tone, I was gonna say serious tone, but that's not, I don't know how to, I mean, okay, Possession is a great time, but it is a surreal, strange movie. Like, it doesn't play it straight. Like, the soundtrack, the way it's shot, Sam Neill's performance, and all the performance. That other
fucking guy who's doing
yes.
Oh,
yeah, that fucking guy. There is stuff that it's like, this is strange. But this movie plays it much more like, this is grounded. It's not that, as grounded as like the devil impregnating you and then you having its child and then can be. But it is like, it is very planted on Earth, and then this horrible devil thing happens. And I think it's it really is like the performances, the way it's shot. It's very big. It does a lot. It gets a lot of mileage out of like shooting in Italy, where I thought Immaculate was a very closed movie. Like, felt very isolated in this like countryside, like very small place. It was also very cold. This is a very warm movie. I don't know. I just love the way it looks. I like how it feels lively.
I think saying it because it's set during like a period of like unrest in like Italy and Rome specifically. So like there are some scenes that feel very crowded.
Yes, there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people. There's like riots and stuff happening. So you really get a sense of like the world outside of this specific
place,
church. Yes. And then, that helps when you understand why some of this demon stuff is happening. You're like, oh, it's because of this. Their logic is still a little flawed, in my opinion. I would have showed people the jackal that you have in your basement. I think that would have that could have.
Oh shit! I gotta start praying.
I was like, geez, is that a jackal? Oh my god! I think they went a little too far, is what I'm saying.
You're probably right.
Similar to another movie we're going to talk about, I think what helps this movie is just like how, grounded, how serious everyone is about some stuff where it is a little ridiculous when you think about, the actions you need to take to reach to this point to like give birth to Damon, the Antichrist. But because everyone is so like genuine and serious and giving a great performance, you believe that they believe it. And that kind of helps sell everything.
Mm-hmm. And it honestly, as a prequel that I don't know what your goal is making a prequel to the Omen now, other than make money. But it's like, are we gonna follow this? It's not okay. This character, our lead character here, is so goddamn good. I'm more interested in the Omen, but I know that movie's in the past and it doesn't have this character. But this character is great. And I like where we leave things with her. But yeah, this is in an ideal world, this is what not even a legacy sequel, a prequel to a franchise years like after the fact with a new director, obviously.
Right.
Like this is what I would want a movie under a franchise, just trying to take the reins of it and bring it back. Like I'm still taking like the core tenets, but I'm very much putting my own spin on it, and I'm taking some risks with this. And yeah, this is a fantastic horror movie. Love it. Good stuff. Again, it feels like what The Exorcist believer should somewhat have been in terms of going for something. And
let's just all take a moment and think that they gave Mike Flanagan the next Exorcist movie. Whew.
Yeah. So that's the first Omen. Check it out. Very good. The next movie here, Dogman, a movie I have seen the poster for, but I know nothing about. Who has seen this?
I watched it. It's the new Luc Besson movie.
Oh, right! Luc Besson!
Everyone's favorite guy.
We love Valerian, folks.
And has never done anything.
We love Lucy.
We all gotta get together and rewatch Valerian.
Honestly,
I think it's time.
I was too sleepy when I saw it, but yeah.
I think it's time.
I'm down.
I think it's time.
It's mainly because like there are some visuals in that. There is some money on screen.
That is true.
There is some.
Yeah, Rihanna.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yes, she's in the movie.
She is in that movie.
I can't remember what
shit.
she does. I just know it's like, oh, that's
She's
just Rihanna.
She's the alien who is like does a striptease but can like change her form. I believe.
Oh.
And who's the? It's like Ethan Hawke or something. He's like, come into my club. I got this sexy alien in here.
This is the Rihanna planet, one of the 1,000 planets where Rihanna hangs out.
Oh my god.
But yeah, Luc Besson's back. I assume with a smaller budget.
Oh yeah. There is no money on screen in this movie. So basically, this movie is about Caleb Landry Jones growing up in a not so nice household with a really overly weird religious dad, and Caleb Landry Jones's character has a kinship with the dogs that live on their property. And eventually the dad feels that he is paying more attention to the dogs than their family, so the dad makes him sleep in the cage with the dogs as a child. And then a bunch of stuff goes down, and eventually our lead character is the dog man, and he has a bunch of dogs, and he can tell them what to do, and they like... He's basically a crime boss, but has an army of dogs that do tasks for him. It's very weird. It's a Luc Besson Joker movie based on the fact that dog backwards is God. I'm like, wow. I went to see this because I was like, because it's got... I like Caleb Landry Jones. He's fun. And there's a whole subplot.
Is he fun? He doesn't play fun characters usually.
True. I liked him in The Dead Don't Die, where he played the...
Oh, I don't remember him in that movie.
He was the gas station guy.
As someone who's been watching Twin Peaks: The Return.
Oh,
yeah.
it's this guy from Twin Peaks Returns. Okay,
Yes.
I had to Google his face.
Very
and I was like,
true.
yes,
Terrible resume.
But there's a whole small plot arc in the middle where he starts working at a drag club and doing drag performances, and I enjoyed that. But the rest of the movie's kind of just boring, and it's literally just him in jail telling his story to a lady, so it looks exactly like Joker at the end, where he's talking to the therapist, and he's like, you wouldn't get it. It's just, that's the framing device, and it keeps going back.
Huh. Other reason why I said that about Caleb, the other role I know him for is in Get Out.
Yeah.
Where it's all like, y'all, you guys' genes are really strong, you want to come wrestle with me, buddy? Let's go wrestle.
When I say he's a fun guy, I mean he's got an interesting face and a cool
He does have an interesting face.
I don't mean every time he's a character I'm like, yes, my favorite guy.
Finally, someone who's saying what I'm thinking.
He's got a vibe to him, that's for sure.
He was fine in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Okay.
Sam Rockwell threw him out a window.
Great. Alright, so Luc Besson's not his finest hour. It's fine.
Yeah,
Is it fine or bad?
It's kind of bad.
Okay, well...
It's mostly boring. The drag queen subplot is fun, and the dogs are cute. I will say, I was so worried that there was going to be just non-stop dog death. Not a single dog dies in this movie, which I think deserves bonus points.
Good job, Luke.
But yeah, skip it.
Wicked Little Letters. This is a movie I wanted to watch just because it has Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley. I'm assuming, did anyone else other than Carrie see this?
No.
Okay.
I saw it with my mom.
Whoa.
So Carrie, tell us about this movie and if it's worth anyone's time, because it looks neat.
I think this is very worth your time, especially if you are in it for Olivia Colman and Jessie Buckley.
Great.
Because they are playing feuding neighbors, and we are kind of coming into the story after the fact of their feud beginning, but Olivia Colman is playing this very pious religious woman who lives with her parents, and she keeps receiving these really crass, really foul letters, and she's blaming it on Jessie Buckley, her neighbor, who has immigrated from Ireland. And so it's just her trying to turn the entire town against Jessie Buckley, and Jessie Buckley being like, I didn't fucking write the letters, I don't know what your problem is. So it's them feuding it out, and it's awesome. I really liked it a lot. And Olivia Colman's fantastic in it, and
so is it funny?
It's very funny.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
Highly recommend
I'm
it.
waiting for that one to go down on the renting price.
Yeah.
That looks nice.
Yeah, it's a nice movie. I don't have too much to say about it, but that's the setup, and if
That
you
sounds
just
fine.
want to see Olivia Colman reading really vulgar letters and getting stressed out, it's really funny.
That's Wicked Little Letters, folks. Civil War. Again, all these movies from April feel like a lifetime ago, but Civil War. The next movie from Alex Garland, starring Kirsten Dunst. It's got Kaylee Spaney. Nick Offerman is the president. Oh yeah, Jesse Plemons, of course. Who could forget? So yeah, Civil War. Movie week walked in as people who really did not enjoy the movie Men. We walked in with very low expectations, and the subject matter as well. Yeah, this movie is not what it's marketed as, is what I would say. It is significantly not what it is marketed as. It is a movie about being a photojournalist. Kirsten sort of just dealing with it, and then dealing with the fact that there's a kid now that wants to be like her, and being like, you don't want this kid, blah, 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 this line of work, but in the middle of a civil war in the United States with multiple factions, it sounded like.
Right.
And Nick Offerman is the president, who may be not a good president, and maybe got us all there. We're at the end game. Yeah, I don't know. Ryan, what'd you think of this movie?
I like this a lot. I love, as you and me both went to the journalism school, I love a movie about journalism.
Sure.
Career I spent a lot of money getting a degree for that I never went into. But I just really liked it. It's such a solid little thing. It's following, because essentially they begin at one part of the country, this group of journalists, and their plan is to go to the White House because they know something's going to go down there. So it's a lot of their stops along the way and like, seeing, what happened to this America in between all this nonsense. And it's just always very interesting, intense, with some scenes being just like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I am on the edge of my seat because this is unpleasant, Jessie. And you know what? And then the ending is just kind of everything that I feel like that third act is really everything I think more of the trailers kind of described as like more war stuff. It does have its own way of doing that, of course, but it's just very solid and very good. And I liked it a lot. It's a good time. Mm-hmm. Good time movie.
Kara, what'd you think?
I liked it too. I do think it is a little bit of a toothless movie. It doesn't. It
100%
doesn't confront anything.
It doesn't have anything to say. But that's because as a journalist, you're there just to tell.
Yeah, no, and I think thematically that makes sense. Yeah. And so if you were wanting a little more of an abrasive film, it's not really that. It's just blockbustery. And honestly, I was happy about that because I don't want to be preached at
again.
From Alex Garland anymore. And so yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. I think that Kirsten Dunst was amazing, and yeah, it was just lots of big set pieces, and you being like, damn, it do take a callous heart to be a photographer in these trying times.
I remember when this came out, I read some stuff about people not liking how it didn't say anything, it didn't take a side. Mm-hmm. And my argument there is they're not explicitly saying it, but I feel like if you look at the context of what's happening, it's pretty clear who Nick Offerman is a parallel to. Pretty obvious, but media literacy.
The movie's not saying this guy's, he didn't deserve to die. This guy was onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was also waiting for a preachy ass movie that's gonna sort of weave a fantastical tale based on the reality of politics in the last decade, and it's kind of that. It's a little bit, but it's not. It's not Men, which is good.
Yeah, thank God.
It's a good movie. You said
it is a good. Yeah. Kirsten Dunst is great in it. I wish they kept the Jesse Plemons bit secret. I wish they kept it for the. I think the movie would have had a lot more oomph.
Jesse Plemons.
It would have been a little bit. Of,
yeah,
again,
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, but again, I think you can't not use Jesse Plemons in your trailer because whatever moment he's going to have is a moment where you just stop the trailer for. But yes, that 100% would have been just a right hook. Jesse Plemons. You're married.
We as an audience would have gone, oh fuck.
They're
over.
Cooked, bro. Yes, this is a really good movie. I liked it a lot. Yeah, I don't know how. I'm very. I mean, I guess very interesting. I don't know. This feels like A24 most being we're out here to make money, and because at least the marketing campaign certainly felt that way. And I don't know how much money it actually made for them.
Yeah, it's like their attempt at their first blockbuster movie because they said they wanted to go into that, but with more of their style of movies that they pick. And I think if this was more of the high budget stuff they wanted to do, this and Everything Everywhere,
114 million. That's pretty good. That's nothing. I don't know how much it cost to make. Let me look at how much did Civil War. There's a few big scenes, but 50 million. So yes, at 100%.
Did it cost more than the actual Civil War? That's the real question.
We'll crunch the numbers.
Yeah, so Civil. Thank you. So yeah, it essentially was 100% a success. So hey, there you go, 50 million, 120 million return, 100%. So yep, good. I forgive you for Men, Alex. I just don't have to ever think about that movie. So yeah, The People's Joker, a movie I sadly missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie, you want to tell us about this one?
This movie is a queer trans retelling of the film Joker, or maybe not, maybe no associations with Warner Brothers Incorporated. Full parody. But our main character, Joker the Harlequin, is living in a world where comedy is outlawed. No one's allowed to be funny anymore. And so they start a troupe of anti-comics where they have their own club. It's Joker and other Joker, Suicide Squad Joker variant, and Penguin. And it's just kind of a coming-of-age transition story about growing up and finding yourself as the Joker.
It's a very interesting movie. This was a Kickstarter thing.
Yes.
And it had a screening at a film festival a few years ago. And Warner Bros. Immediately shut it down.
They were like, not allowed.
Yes. But this is a 100% legal parody. And it parodies, mostly the movie Joker, but just like a lot of like DC comic book and also just like the comedy culture altogether. If you watch too much SNL like me, there's some good.
Yeah.
There's some
Ryan
good.
had to explain some SNL jokes to me.
There's a part of this movie where Lord Michaels falls down the stairs and his pants fall off.
It was really fun because I think there's like it's been a minute on this one. I think that you have to, if you want to do comedy, you have to like go to SNL basically.
Basically
and
SNL,
become
yes.
part of SNL cult, and that's
Yes.
the only people who are allowed to do comedy.
Yes. But there's a lot. There's a lot to this movie. It also has like such a unique style because it's like such a insanely low budget. Like basically everything's green screened. And like you can tell, but like they're not hiding it like way with other stuff. And what they're able to do with the limitations that they had in this movie is very cool. I also like how, obviously the writer, director, and main star, Vera Drew, she plays herself pre-transition as well. And I don't think I've ever seen, there's not a lot of movies about the trans experience that are so, we're going to talk about another one later, that are so like direct like this. And I don't think I've seen one where, you see someone like pre and post in such like a direct way. It's nothing that I've seen.
The only one I can think of is on Orange is the New Black. But they had Laverne Cox's twin brother play her pre-transition, so she didn't even have to do that.
Yeah, so like just very cool that the actor would be comfortable doing that for the film. But yeah, and then like for being like a Joker parody and like being very funny, it's very sincere and honest with what it's trying to do with that coming out story, as well as talking about being in a relationship that isn't healthy, despite some of the benefits from before, just because without spoiling too much, because the character's transition is kind of tied to this other character that they're in a relationship with, so leaving them is like difficult because of that, and it does all that very nice and very directly. And it's just really good and really it's just a cool movie. It's just a cool thing that exists in the world. Yeah. And I'm excited for the director to do more wild things. Yeah.
Hopefully this movie gets distributed digitally. It's still not available digitally.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it might be a tough run.
Yeah, I saw her tweeting about how there's gonna be, I think it was talking about like some VHS release or something. But, so I assume there's plans for physical releases, but yeah, I'm really glad that this movie got some distribution because I was watching some clips of them in interviews and she made a good point where she's like, the only difference between a movie like this and something like Scary Movie or something like that is that People's Joker has a very overt trans coming out story. And that's the reason probably why people were like, well, we can't be having this. Excuse me.
I also like her quote in an interview where, a lot of like the Marvel and DC fanboys will be like, well, these are like our comic book stuff is like the modern, folklore stuff. And she's like, well, if it's the modern folklore, why can't I use these characters that everyone knows and use them as analogs for my story? Yeah. Which is cool. You can obviously do that with any public domain character, but like if those are what culture is, why can't you use those for your own story? But whatever. They got the people's lawyers clearly were able to solve enough of this to get distributed, albeit limitedly, but still, very cool movie, would highly recommend.
Yep.
Great time, hilarious.
Hopefully it becomes more accessible. Boy howdy folks, this next movie is a movie I immediately forgot the night after. So talking about it now in this podcast is certainly difficult, and that is Abigail, directed by Matt and Tyler from the Scream movies and Ready or Not, and that one Southbound short about a group of ne'er-do-wells who kidnap a girl and put her for ransom, and turns out it's a vampire girl. I hate when that happens, folks.
That girl is a vampire.
Bam, 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 bam.
This movie would have been a lot better if the trailers weren't all about, oh, he kidnapped a vampire.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you watch the movie, like, the twist that she's a vampire is, like, 30 minutes in. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of buildup. And, like, I have no problem with that. But, like, when you're setting all this stuff up and, like, you already know the reveal, it's like, okay, so when are they going to get around to it? And then, like, wow, it's really taken them a while to get around to the obvious fact that she's a vampire, huh? And then after that, like, it becomes, like, a goof, Ready or Not style goofy horror stuff. And I think there's some good moments in there, but yeah, I don't know.
This movie, real quick, has got Melissa Barrera of the Scream movies also, Dan Stevens of Godzilla and Kong, New Empire fame.
Hell yeah.
And Catherine Newton of Lisa Frankenstein. And Giancarlo Esposito for like 10 minutes. It's very cool. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like this movie very much. It's I don't know. I just didn't find a lot of fun with it. It's pretty.
Did you like Ready or Not? I can't remember.
I loved it a lot, and I hadn't
okay.
seen it since it came out though, so I have no memory of it.
Okay.
But yeah, and so I don't know why this isn't working.
I know you don't like their Scream movies, so I wonder if you just don't like their style.
It's because they're bad.
They're not good movies.
They have the last one's not.
This
great.
is better than those Scream movies. I would say that.
Yeah. I'm not a Scream girly, so I've never really liked any of the Scream movies I've watched very much, but those were not fun at all.
That's totally fair. I respect that.
Yeah. Sorry, that's how I feel about this movie.
Damn.
I fell asleep for a bit of it.
Wow, it's been a minute since
I did.
that.
Oh wow! Whoa, the movie's over. Yeah, Carrie, I think you were more positive on this one.
Yeah, I like this movie. I agree with Ryan how it would have been fun to exist in the universe where it was a surprise that she was a vampire, but I think it still had a good sense of humor and everyone was having fun, and the little girl who was playing her was very funny. Mm-hmm. And Dan Stevens was hilarious. Mm-hmm. Someone posted a clip of the part where he sends Catherine Newton to go get garlic, and she comes back with the onions, and he just goes, Sammy, those are fucking onions.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty
so
funny. That's pretty funny. I was gonna say, yeah, it is weird. Like, this is a direct spiritual sequel to Ready or Not. Like,
yeah,
pretty there's like touchstones to it, which I found was fascinating. Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know why I didn't like the violence so much. I think it was fine. A lot of exploding, which we like that. It's fun. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought this movie was pretty unremarkable in my opinion. I don't know how it did. I'm gonna look up how good did Abigail do.
I feel like nowadays, like with the horror community, like pretty much going out for almost anything.
Yeah, I know.
And horror movies being more low budget, it's kind of hard.
It's kind of hard to
find a flop.
Yeah, it doubled its budget, so there you go. And it also was like on streaming like 2 weeks after.
It was, yeah. I think did the last footage of Demeter make its money back? That's the only one I can. That's the only horror movie I can think of in the past like year or two that I'm like, that one might not have made its money back. I don't know why. I had fun with it.
They spent all that money recreating the real Demeter, the actual Demeter.
It's about time. Demeter 2. We can do it this time.
The Voyage of Demeter was a bomb, yes. It cost $45 million to make $21 million.
Oh, no.
Truly
no. Oh, man. That movie's a gift that keeps on giving, isn't it?
What a great movie.
Oh, man.
Also been in production for like over 10 years. Jesus
That
Christ, you guys.
That probably didn't help it, no.
Damn.
Any of the other final words on Abigail? Dan Stevens in 2 movies in the span of like 2 months? That's wild.
And he's in Cuckoo as well.
Oh, wow, Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens is so hot right now.
People like Dan Stevens, and I like him a lot, but people really like Dan Stevens, and I don't get it.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. He's charming when he shows up. He's working.
He's a good guy.
I haven't seen anything in him that he's bad. He's one of the best parts of this movie by far.
Oh yeah.
And the best part of Godzilla by far, Kong Kong. Man, Rebecca Ferguson's in that movie. That's something, you know.
Yeah. She got that haircut, so it was like she's in disguise. So
yeah.
no one remembers
So
her.
true. Okay, the last film of April. Not the last Voyage of the Demeter. Challengers, the new movie by Luca Guadagnino, starring Zendaya, Mike Faist, and Josh O'Connor. This is a movie about tennis. We love tennis, folks. We got 2 dudes being dudes who are awesome at tennis. They're fucking killing it. And this lady comes in and they're like, "Wow! Woo, 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 woo! Auga, auga!" Blah, blah, blah. Kind of literally in this movie. They're like, "Woo!"
That was also George the whole time next to me.
That's me. This music of this movie, just losing my fucking
so
mind.
True.
And then that tennis player is Zendaya. They become intertwined over a relationship, passing a few dozen years from them meeting. And then where Zendaya is at the top of her game, about to break out, and then she has an injury that sidelines her forever, and marries one of them. And then we get to a point in life where the 3 of them have met again, and gotta play a game of tennis, like outside of this fucking
Who could have guessed it?
tire donation. There's like who fucking knows. Like when the movie started, I was like, wait a minute, what? Like we're here at the Papillion fucking tennis
court across the street.
tennis.
From
Yeah,
George's
exactly.
house.
We're over there. They're playing right now. They're very sweaty, folks. They're very
Oh
sweaty.
man!
Those thighs.
Oh crap! They're kissing again.
Oh Jesus.
But also, this is a very horny movie, very sexy movie. With soundtrack by Atticus Ross and oh my god, I just forgot his name.
Trent
Reznor of 9 Inch Nails fame. Also,
I think-
composers of Soul. Everyone loves Soul.
I think this might be their best score since like The Social Network.
That's what people told me. And then I listened to The Social Network. I love it. I was like, I need to watch The Social Network. Holy
Social
shit.
Network's amazing.
I haven't seen
That's
it.
a very good movie. You want to watch it now?
Maybe.
Let's
Okay,
turn this
cool.
shit off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this movie. This is my favorite movie of the year.
Hell yeah.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's so kinetic. I love the way it's shot. All the fucking tight ass zooms on people, like the
All the erect penises.
there aren't any penises in this movie actually. Like okay. So here's the thing about this movie: it's a sexy movie, but it's subtly sexy.
Yeah.
Like it's not super explicit, other than the makeout scene where it's like they went for it. Like, good job, Josh and Mike. Y'all did it. Y'all did the work there. But yeah, like the rest of it's pretty. It's not that explicit. But
tennis is the
but
sex
tennis,
scenes.
yeah. Tennis is the new sex, folks. But like yeah, like the parts are like just like the human body in intense physical activity, it looks like the body's about to fucking explode. Whenever they were like when they were playing tennis and it slowed down, I was like, oh no, your leg is like gouging. But yes, this is a movie like led by like the script, the performances, and the fucking soundtrack, which is just fucking amazing. It's just electric. It's just so goddamn good. It makes like just weird, regular conversation with your dude in a sauna seem really fucking intense. Yeah, this movie's awesome. It's just edge of my seat for this thing. Love it. Love Zendaya. And yeah, that was the biggest thing in my Letterboxd review. Like, I liked Zendaya. I've always liked her. She's fine. But I know people like really love her.
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought that she was like, oh, she's gonna be one of the big actors. And then this movie, I was just like, whew. For me, it was the part in this movie where I forget their names. But I think Mike is the one who got down on his luck.
Yeah, he's
Josh O'Connor is the red, or Josh
O'Connor's the one who gets down on his luck.
Okay. So yeah, it's the one where he's like, "Come be my coach," and they're in the alleyway, and just the facial expression on Zendaya, just acting and just like, ooh, right there. That's the shit right there. Yeah, I love this movie a lot. Ryan, you're not a big fan of sexy movies though, so I assume you're like, you're a little
I don't.
lower.
I'm not big on sexy movies, and I'm even less so on sports movies. So when it's like horny sports, I'm just like, it's just not for me. But like, it is a very good movie, and like I said, the soundtrack is great. All the performances are fantastic, and the way it shoots the tennis, like you said, it's very kinetic, and like it makes you like feel like you're like in there, and you're just feeling how like sweaty and tired everyone is, and it's very good. It has some very nice moments in it too. But yeah, just another personal thing. Just like it's just not gonna shoot up there on the list for me personally.
I feel like if any sports movie was gonna do it, it probably would have been this one.
Yeah,
so
the Zendaya tennis movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
you would hope.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe we could count Love Lies Bleeding as a sports movie.
Weightlifting?
That's a sport.
That is
It
a
is.
sport.
It is,
It's
but
a
it's
competitive sport.
it doesn't feel competitive. Maybe we have like a big weight lifters audience somehow. But like, I don't know.
I'm just trying to help you troubleshoot and figure out what the issue is.
I just fucking hate sports. They're so boring. It's people are like, yes, I dressed up for this. Why? You know what's gonna happen? One of them will win. That's what'll happen. Jesus Christ, get over yourself.
Okay.
Carrie, like this movie.
Yeah, this movie's awesome.
Oh, cool.
No, I completely agree. This movie is such a fun time, and I love the way it's structured because we start at the event, this little rinky event, and we just are putting the pieces together, going back a few years, forward a few years, back a few years, and just figuring out why this random ass tennis match is the most important tennis match of all time. Mm-hmm. And I love it. I thought it was very good.
I thought, I don't know why this direction I'm going to, but there are moments in this movie where like the camera is hanging out to look at these guys. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a really, Mike Face, you're beautiful, but he is so fair skinned when he is just like hanging out in the sun. Like, you're gonna die.
You're gonna
yeah.
We gotta get some SPF up in here.
I don't know why I went with that, but
that's funny.
Yeah, I love this movie. This is fucking cinema to me, baby. It's fantastic. Again, I don't know why Amazon funded this, but keep on doing what you're doing. With this and Saltburn, it makes you feel like there's somebody somewhere in Amazon that likes some good shit.
Did they do Luca's last film too?
I don't know if they did Bones and All.
No, I think they did actually.
Man,
they also did Suspiria.
Yeah,
they kept him on board. I mean, Suspiria was great, but like it didn't do well. So
No.
I'm surprised Amazon was like, "Get out of here, Luca."
Bones and All is so good. Luca
But then he
cannot lose.
But then
That's
he left,
true.
and then he did Call Me by Your Name, and so maybe I was like, maybe there's something to this guy. I don't know. Keep him around. I don't know. But also, I think, did Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross also score Bones and All, or did I imagine that?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe they did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, there's I didn't listen to that whole score very much, but there's at least one song in there that I'd always be pumping. But yeah, Bones and All rocks, but Challengers rocks maybe even harder.
But yes, I hope the vocal track is I don't even know. I don't know what's gonna make it this to best original song. I assume the vocal track, which is so fucking good. Yeah, Challenge is great. I need to listen to more Nine Inch Nails is what I've learned also from listening to some of their music. But yeah, that's April. Let's see here. Tarot. Man, a movie.
More like hello.
Huh? What?
Exactly. You heard me. I'm not backing down from that.
Talk about a movie that feels fake but is real. Tarot. Oh man, of course. I was like, did Tarot make its money back, bro?
Oh,
it was made.
wow.
It costed like $8 million and made $42 million.
Let's go.
That is true. We do.
So what's the setup here? We have
Bunch of college pals doing an Airbnb at a spooky
It's
house.
this girl's birthday.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's got the guy from Spider-Man in it.
Yeah.
Yup. It's
It's
got
got
the girl from Mean Girls.
I was gonna say the new Mean Girls. Yes.
Oh yes. And yeah, they're in this house, and they're like this Airbnb house, and they go into a room that was closed off and like, oh my god, there's a tarot deck in here. Let's all do our tarots.
Because it's like some rich guy who owns the Airbnb and he
Yeah.
has like weird estate sale.
The people in the
finds.
cabin in the woods are like, the
exactly.
tarot cards, I get it, baby!
Yes. And then they all do, and then every character gets their tarot reading done one at a time, and then it's basically a final destination
Exactly,
with
yes.
what was said at their tarot and something that'll happen to them later on. And I'll tell you what, as a motion picture, it's not very good. As an experience with pals, it's pretty good time. Pretty good time.
It is better than Imaginary. But not as good as Night Swim, I don't think. Because you can't beat
Night
I
Swim.
respect
It's
that.
really
beat that
hard to
pool.
beat the pool, and this pool is
It's
the best thing that's ever happened to us.
God, I love that movie. I was after this came out, I was like, I am eating so good this year with all the stupid ass horror movies that are coming out. It's fantastic.
I think they realized what does well.
It's honestly kind of incredible. You put out tarot, you made a 36-something million profit out of that. That's insane. That's wild.
That's just good. That's just good business
That's
right there.
capitalism right there, baby.
We
That's
gotta
business.
make movies like this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we'll get out of debt.
Oh man.
I don't know, but yeah, what's there to say about this? I don't.
It's hilarious.
It's very funny. The monster design's pretty solid.
The monster design and the actual like designs on the cards are fantastic.
Yeah.
I like the elevator scene. Actually, I thought it was pretty well thought out.
Good stuff.
I don't know much about tarot, but I feel like it's probably not an authentic portrayal
no
of tarot. If you're a huge tarot head, which you shouldn't be.
Relax.
Fucking read a book.
Wow,
This is the guy who took
Ryan.
5 years to read House of Bleed.
And guess what? It's a pretty good book.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a prime. Yes, it's 100% prime. Watch with your friends.
Mhm.
It's a fun time. Better than Imaginary in George's opinion.
It's close. I think I like Imaginary more, but I'm a teddy bear person, so.
Yeah, Tarot. It's a movie that came out this year. And
Hilarious
how many people will remember it? This podcast
Me.
will.
Yeah, these three people here.
I saw The TV Glow, a movie I'm really bummed I haven't seen yet, and my time is running short to watch this in a movie theater. But yeah, Gary, you want to explain what this movie is for folks?
This movie is about a guy who is in school and having a little bit of a hard time, not really feeling at home anywhere, not really feeling acclimated, and then they discover through this other person who they meet this show, and it's called The Pink Opaque.
Mm-hmm.
And they decide to get together and watch this show, and then they kind of go on a journey experiencing this show, growing, learning things about themselves and each other, and then we just sort of blossom into the world and feel the emptiness of the show being gone.
Yeah, it's set in the 90s, and it's kind of like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer mixed with a bit of like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Nickelodeon style stuff. So it has a bit of that like 90s cheese to it. And yeah, it's like their friendship through this show and how that show and especially the show's ending affects not only like their friendship but their lives moving forward. And it's the same director as We're All Going to the World's Fair, which is an important note because if you thought that movie was a bit too much for you, I got some bad news. This movie is 100% more of that. And because of that, I think me and Carrie absolutely love this movie,
Great movie.
a lot. It's so goddamn good. Yeah, I don't know what to say without spoiling too much about it. But it's so beautifully shot. It's very much inspired by like Lynchian stuff, as well as, you know, obviously that Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Are You Afraid of the Dark era of like TV teen drama.
It seems like it's trying to be nostalgic about a certain thing. Am I off base? Like, what is it like? Or is it just sentimental for being young?
It's about. It's a bit more open. It's just about that part of the movie is about like how the media we consume as a child like imprints on us and like what it means to us. That's like I think one of the two big like film thesis things that this movie is. While the other one being which we kind of alluded to this before, some trans coming out narrative. Which is all very good and very emotionally destructive. Especially that one like frame with the sidewalk chalk. Jesus fucking Christ. Right. Oh my God.
Yeah, this movie uses nostalgia as a vehicle to confront looking back on your life and realizing that you've had to hide part of yourself away for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then you come to a realization at a certain point that that's what the deal has been.
And it's hard to give this movie a genre. It has some horror elements to it. Like when they watch the show, like it has that bit of, and it makes more sense in the context, especially towards the end of the film. It has that cheesiness too, but it's also like really fucked up. The show that they're watching, it's like, what is happening here? And then there's like some like dread and drama stuff that like is very like nerve-wracking. And I think like some stuff that like got to me the most, and we alluded to this, I alluded to this before, but like the way they talk about this show, like the words themselves are like kind of like ridiculous just because of like what the show is, but like both of these characters, their delivery and like their face as they're like explaining this show is so like serious and genuine that like you believe them and you're kind of terrified. If that makes sense, because it's just like, oh Jesus, you are in the sauce with this show. Oh boy, you poor thing. And it's just like nothing you've ever seen. It is absolutely incredible.
Well, I like this movie.
I think so.
Yeah.
I like We're All Going to the World's Fair fine.
Yeah.
For sure.
This has more of a narrative than
Yeah.
World's Fair. I mean, that had a narrative, but it was mostly the vibes thing. But this
World's
has the
Fair
vibes.
Feels like it could be a spiritual sequel to this.
Yeah, it's like, I would say it's the B-side to this.
Yeah,
it's a companion, but this feels like more of a meaty thing.
For
also,
sure.
Great soundtrack.
Holy shit! Yeah, best. Well, I don't know. Challengers is really good.
Yes.
This is like,
this
in terms of like songs, individual tracks.
Yes, this has like a variety.
I like the song they used for the trailer. So
yes.
Okay, I will try to watch this. There's only one theater here in Omaha playing this. I feel like this really got a limited release, or at least I saw a lot of people trying to track it down.
Right.
Yeah, I want to watch this. We didn't mention it, but it has what's his fucking buckets?
Detective Pikachu, Justice Smith.
Justice Smith. Yes.
He's very good in this. He's had a weird year.
He has had a weird year, yes.
Because he was in the Magical Society movie.
The movie just got shot immediately. It's on Blu-ray now, and
Wasn't he in something else this year? Or am I thinking?
He was in D&D last year.
That's true.
That was good though.
That was a great movie.
That was a good ass movie.
He picked some interesting movies. I like that guy though.
Never made another Detective Pikachu though. That was weird.
That's
really weird.
I was thinking about, it's crazy how like Pokemon, the biggest media franchise on the planet, had a live action movie that did well. It did well.
It did very well.
And like nothing was made, and also I feel like no one talks about it.
No, it just came out.
It just came out. A lot of people saw it.
That Pikachu was his dad.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
we all know.
I was told, and I was pissed.
Yeah.
So I would have been so mad if I went to go see that movie. It's like, Pikachu was actually Ryan Reynolds the whole time.
Like the actual Ryan Reynolds.
No, this is the worst.
That's interesting.
Anyways, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, baby.
The fourth Apes movie of this trilogy. It's still in this trilogy.
Yes.
I like the ape. I like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes a lot.
It's a good movie.
I think Rise is fine. It is okay. War was disappointing, but it's still a good movie. I had no reason. Why are we making this other than money? So I was not looking forward to this movie. And the movie itself, we don't follow Caesar. He's long gone dead. He's goodbye. But yeah, but the movie itself it's fine. I don't know. It's another ape. I don't think it doesn't have like big stakes, or at least I don't know. The stakes in the last movies felt really big, and this one we're just kind of following this ape and trying to get his family out, and like the stuff is a lot smaller. At least it feels to me. Yeah, I don't know. Ryan, you have any thoughts on?
I love this movie.
You love this movie?
I love this movie a lot. This is just a great like classic adventure film.
It is a trek. We are going on a trek.
It is like a classic like journey thing, but from the perspective of, you know, these apes. And I think that's why, that's one thing I do like about these modern Planet of the Apes movies is like each one feels very distinct for the most part. Like Rise is like really its own thing.
Yeah, it's 100%. It feels so different.
I rewatched that before this, and that is a different film, and that would be a fantastic film if anyone other than James Franco, rest in peace, was in it. Dawn is great. It feels
Dawn's
like
so
it feels so Last of Us and like abandoned, like crazy. War I need to rewatch.
Yeah,
I remember it felt very like snowy and like
it was snowy, and then
it felt like a.
It was really.
It was going for like an epic.
It was
kind of
really
feel.
weird because Woody Harrelson was playing like essentially a racist ape guy.
Yeah,
but it was like he had the country hat and he was doing the accent, you know, and it's like the apes and the cages and the slaves. Weird. But that's what my problem with that movie was.
Was that the movie that had the Ape Apocalypse Now on it, or was that something else?
That.
So I remember that being a point of contention, but I don't remember which monkey movie that was.
But what I like, what I like about Kingdom is it's set like a couple hundred years after the other one, so like it's like the stuff that happened, like it's like myth now, basically, for these characters.
So many people said it over, and like the story is not clear anymore because so many people passed it along.
Yes. And then also just what I appreciate about this movie is, you know, as they're going on the trek through like the woods, like the foresty world, it really feels that like sense of like nature has taken over, because there's this big scene at an airport, and like it's not really clear that it's an airport until later on, and then like you look at everything like, oh, this is clear, like that's the escalators and that's the tarmac and everything. It's just all so overgrown, it's barely representative of what it used to be, and that's just cool. That's cool environmental stuff that I really like. And then also all the performances were a lot of fun. You know, learning more about like what like people were doing during this, you know, apocalypse event that kind of made all the people have to go underground while all the apes rise together. And then
together strong.
Apes together strong. I'm so sorry, fake fan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
And I just also just really liked all the new monkey characters. I think the new protagonist guy, Noah, I believe, he was very good. I liked his companion, Rocka. Yes, he's great. Proximus is hilarious.
He's all right.
He's like we are all monkeys, woo! And they're all like, yeah, we are. Just great. I love this.
William H. Macy is there.
Yeah, he reads books.
Not a lot of stars in this one. It's a lot.
No.
Not a lot of known folks in this movie.
No.
Didn't you say that the bad guy monkey was the Elon Musk guy from Abigail?
Yes.
Was he really?
Yes, he did the
Holy
mocap for him.
shit.
Yeah, he did the mocap for Proximus. Great, right? Perfect.
That's wild. Yeah, Kevin Durand. Not to be confused with Kevin Durant.
Perfect casting.
Or Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
But yeah, this is great, and I'm hoping because they said they wanted to make another trilogy that.
I mean, that's fine. I like
it. If they
it.
keep like this trend of like each one like feeling like its own thing,
I would
I
love
like that.
I would love that we got more ape communities, like
Yeah.
because this one was like the whole thing was like we love birds, man. We
Well, this is the
fucking
bird
love birds, bro.
And then everyone's like, oh, we want to start a nuclear war. Is the other monkey community they were into, which is pretty awesome, pretty big diff.
And I also like the way this ends, where it's like in Dawn, like what the fuck is his name from Oppenheimer? the fuck? Anyways.
Oh, Jason Clarke?
Jason Clarke in, like, Caesar was, like, immediately a relationship. Where this one, it's, like, even our hero character is, like, I don't like you apes, really.
Yeah.
But you seem okay.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, don't get it twisted. It's humans and then apes, bro.
Yeah.
And I like that I like that dynamic of the character a lot. I like the way the handshake, like the gun behind her hand, and stuff.
Cool stuff.
So that was cool. And so I am interested. Let's see that continue if we make more
I think
of these.
they've also, like, said they want it to eventually lead up to basically like a modern
into Planet of the
remake
Apes,
of
right?
Planet of the
That's where it's headed.
Yeah. And I'm interested in seeing, like, how they do that story with everything that they've set up. But yeah, I like these a lot. It takes fucking forever for them to come out, but you know what? They look pretty good though.
Yeah,
so
it is funny how like they are so separated. What's the last thing? So the interesting thing about this is Wes Ball, who directed the Maze Runner movies and is going to be directing the
Zelda movie. Yeah. So if he keeps that adventure style, then that's good. But of course, you need a good script, and I have zero doubt. I have 100% doubts that a good Zelda script could ever work out in this world. But yeah.
Apes together strong. That's the big thing. The last stop in Yuma County.
I wanted to see this, but
this is
the days
new
never worked out.
Jim Cummings film.
He's not the director, but he is in it.
Okay.
I think it's a friend of his who is the director.
Okay. What can you tell us about this one, Carrie?
This movie takes place at a gas station / diner, and the gas station is out of gas because the truck that delivers the gas never got there this morning. So we start off bright and early. The diner's about to open. Jim Cummings is our main guy. He shows up, and he is a knife salesman and is also on the way to visit his daughter, who he hasn't seen in a while. And
classic Jim Cummings move.
Exactly.
Character,
He's not a drunk cop in this one though. He's just a knife salesman. But and as he's pulling in, you hear on his car radio that there has been a bank robbery, and that's being covered on the radio. And then he goes to wait it out in the diner, and there is the lady who runs the diner, and they're hanging out waiting for the gas truck to arrive. And as we are waiting, these two other guys show up, and they seem a little suspicious. And we find out that these are the guys who had robbed the bank. So they are also stuck because they need gas.
They need gas.
But there's no gas.
Yes.
And this is the last stop in Yuma County. There's not another gas station for several hundred miles. So they come in, threaten Jim Cummings and the waitress, and let them know, anyone who comes in here, you don't tell them that we're the guys. You don't call for help. We're going to wait out this gas showing up, and we're all going to be nice and dandy. And so it's just a boiling pot kind of thing of more people arriving at the diner and the tension ratcheting.
This sounds great.
It's awesome. It's
sounds
really
so
fun.
good.
It's a fun movie. And I love Jim Cummings, so I'm biased. I'm going to love anything that he's in. But Richard Brake plays one of the bank robbers, and I love Richard Brake. And it's great tension, and it's a lot meaner than I thought it was going to be. And I always love when a movie is mean.
Okay.
But yeah, I would recommend this.
That sounds
one.
awesome. That sounds a good. Yeah, it's an old timey movie. Yeah, setup.
Yeah, it's a great setup, and it's fun. It's a fun time.
Okay. All right. I will say, Ryan, now that you told me that the Elon Musk looking guy from Abigail is Proxima Caesar, that monkey does look like that guy.
Yeah. It's a good monkey.
Anyways, last up in Yuma County, I added that to my watch list. That's great. It sounded cool. The Strangers Chapter 1. Man.
Oh, man.
I have heard some things about this film. Mainly that it's not good.
That's the main thing about this film. It's not very
but
good.
impressively not good is what I've heard, which I don't know how you all feel. Maybe you just think it's banal not good. But tell me, how did the strangers become,
Well, first off,
I wish I fucking knew.
I wish we knew. They do not answer that question. It seems like a marketing thing. But what's funny is, like, both me and Carrie individually rewatched the original Strangers that
movie
night.
I dislike very strongly.
Because I was like, I might as well. Maybe
let me reacclimate myself to this very complex story. Because lots of things that happen.
Because I didn't read the press release for The Strangers Chapter 1, but I assumed it was a prequel.
Yes.
That told the story
of
how the strangers became strangers.
Because that's what the trailer told us.
Yes, but then the movie starts and they have cell phones and
yeah, she's got an iPhone and she's like, we gotta go check into this Airbnb, and it's
like okay, so it's not a
dear.
prequel.
Oh no.
So it's its own thing. So surely this isn't gonna be just beat for beat the movie I just watched. For the most part.
So it's a remake of The Strangers.
It's a remake of The Strangers.
That's fucked up, bro.
I was so annoyed. I was like, are you shitting my ass right now? I cannot believe they did this to me.
It's so incredible. But yeah, much like the original Strangers, our two main characters are super unlikable.
Right.
I think because when I rewatched the original Strangers,
Liv Tyler.
Not Liv Tyler. No.
One of the red-haired girls from Stranger Things, I think. Or was she in? No, not
Riverdale.
The other actor factory.
Yeah. So rewatching Strangers, my issue with original Strangers, my issue was with these two characters, because when I rewatched, I did kind of sympathize with their situation, because a proposal that doesn't go the way you expected.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay, but I remember really hating those characters, being annoyed by them, and I was like, why did I not like these? Because they keep making stupid decisions in this situation. They're absolute idiots. In this one, they're absolute idiots, but they're also the cringiest couple you've ever seen.
I was gonna say.
Do you remember that old Tumblr image of the couple kissing in public, and then someone taking a photo of them and hey, what are you doing?
What?
It's this old Tumblr thing.
Couple kissing Tumblr comic.
It's something like that. It's not a comic.
Okay.
It's someone took a picture of a couple in public being really weird, and it has that energy because they're a very cringy, weird, awkward couple.
Like the Vine where the guy's like,
is this
allowed?
What
the fuck?
I think so. That might be what I'm thinking.
You're thinking of this allowed. Okay.
That's a great.
Yes,
video.
I'm thinking of that. Video.
They are the people.
That was them.
And then so they. Oh, okay. And then they look at the stranger
the stranger. The strangers are like, what the fuck?
It's we're gonna kill you later.
Well, that's hilarious.
Yes.
I wish anything happened in this movie.
But then my other main issue with this movie is, the big twist in original Strangers is, towards the end, they're like, why are you doing this? Because you are home. Mm-hmm. And the movie's not good, but that's a nice twist because it tells you everything you need to know about who these people are. It's they just like killing. Mm-hmm. That's it. And that's the scary part. They're invading your home and they're there just because they want to do it.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought. In this one, they're in this Airbnb and they get all attacked and they do the beat why are you doing this? And the lady says, because you're here. Which doesn't work. That implies so much more of a thought out plan of this is something you guys do to people who rent out this Airbnb, not just this random hey, we're just going to attack these people because we love killing.
Not a funny game sort of deal.
No, it ruins the one twist of a movie I don't like, and that annoys me.
And ruining the trailer. That was the thing I remember when I saw this trailer. I was you got the line wrong.
Yeah. So they didn't get it wrong. They're we gotta make it our own thing. And they did it, but it kind of
ruining it.
The context just isn't there. And then there's also all the other beats that are there in the movie that are just done a little differently, but they feel worse.
Like that part where someone is sitting in the room, but there's a stranger behind them, and they don't see them, and then the camera cuts back, and the stranger is gone.
Yeah,
that part, I love that part.
Yeah, but she was absolutely toked out, so that's why the husband didn't believe her. Yeah, it's babe, that was a cloud picture you were looking at, and you're fucking stoned as hell.
Shout out to this guy, the director of this. I mean, I wish I could make money this easy. He is signed up to do 3 of these. So the whole
this
trilogy.
is a trilogy.
Oh my god!
Yes.
because this movie ends with "to be continued"
Yes.
literally on the screen.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
But also
they threatened us.
But also the to be continued. So, spoilers, just because I just want to make this clear. So at the movie ends, the girl survives.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's in, and then there's a post fucking credits scene of her in the hospital. Because that's what the Strangers franchise is.
This is also after "to be continued."
Yes.
So it's like "to be continued"
Immediately.
now.
Yeah, to be continued now. So she's in the hospital bed, and then she and
She rustles a bit.
she rustles a
kinda
bit,
wakes up.
and then behind her, one of the strangers comes up and looks at her because he was lying in the bed.
Yeah.
He was lying in the bed with her, and he kind of gets up and looks down at her. It's like, okay, so he's gonna kill her. Is that it? How does she get out of this situation? He's just gonna stab her because he loves doing that. Ridiculous.
And also, if he followed her to the hospital, that implies some sort of more...
Yeah, that implies more things if he was able to really get in that hospital.
Well, also that it implies that he's invested in this person in
Yes.
particular, which doesn't seem like their MO, but I have no idea.
We don't know.
I wish I knew.
If only I understood the strangers become the strangers. And I get kind of what they're going for, because there's hints to who they are is they're clearly people that they met before they went into the Airbnb. At least that's how I felt.
Maybe.
I feel just with the events of what happened before, I feel it's obvious that the one lady at the diner who was nice to them was one of the girls. One of the people who
maybe I'm just stupid.
is at the auto shop was definitely part of it. I don't know who the third girl would be, and also the girl masks are too similar,
very too much similar. I agree.
Because in the original, one of them had long blonde hair down, so that's how you could distinguish her. But in this one, I thought there was only two of the strangers for the longest time, and I was like, "Wow, how'd she get all the way over there so fast?" It's because there's two women, and not in fact one. Anyways, not a good film.
Yeah, not very
Is it better than the first one?
No.
I don't know.
I think Liv Tyler is I love Liv Tyler though.
Yeah, I like the first... Oh, I don't like the first one, but the first one, I enjoyed their dynamic of a couple being on the outs, kind of, and having that tension instead of...
It's a good setup.
Yeah, I like it. That's a lot better than couple who is on their way to Portland, but then got delayed by car troubles and is so in love but so sad.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Did they put inspired by true events in this one? Because the other one...
There's a thing at the beginning where it's a lot of crime happens.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a crime happening right now. 16
that's right.
crimes happened while you were reading this sentence.
You think the statistic would change, given 15 years have passed. You think it would have gone up because of population increase, but no, it's I think if it's the same now, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it's
it's
leveled out.
It's violent crimes happen all the time. This is the most brutal one. It's okay.
And then it's in fact, a crime has happened since you started the movie. It's oh, okay, cool. Way to make me feel good.
Yeah, the violent crime is that this movie murdered my evening.
Yeah.
No, the Strangers. The shit is fascinating. I mean,
and apparently, Chapter 2 is going to come out this year.
Oh,
I saw that. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. I am because now they're out.
I think all two. I understand all three of them are coming out this year.
What?
I've only heard that the second one is definitely coming out this year, but I'm fascinated because what are you gonna do? All their ideas were from the first one, so the next one's gonna be all original.
So maybe we'll
finally find out how the Strangers became the Strangers.
I have to know.
God, I've never been more invested in my life.
I mean, it's easy money for Lionsgate, who picked up the distribution for this. The first movie was made on $9 million and made $82 million.
Jesus.
And even the second one was made $40 million. So these are people. I think they found the strange that there's a subset of a generation of people who rented this movie or saw this movie, and these three fuckos mean yeah. I like those guys.
I don't want to talk about this movie too much more, but I just also love it's called The Strangers Chapter 1 because they were so passionate, firm that this is going to be a series of stuff. This is going to be a series of films that people are going to watch and be excited for. When the first one came out 15 years ago, and had a follow-up 8 years later that is not remembered. And like, well, let's reboot it, and put chapter 1. A bold move that not even like It or Dune did. It was called It Part 1 just in the ending crawl, and the same thing with Dune. They hid the fact that it was Part 1 so it would do better. Not because they didn't believe in it, but these guys were like, people are going to be on board for this. Like, that's just it's just crazy. Like, these people are more like...
What do you have to lose?
They think their thing is better than Dune?
I don't think they think
I
that.
think
I
think that.
I think they're like, we could make this for $20.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Have people stand in
So
house.
what are we losing? Yeah. Anyways.
I have one more gripe.
Okay.
Richard Brake was in this movie again. Like he's from Yuma County, and I love Richard Brake. He was a sheriff. He was in the diner. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Richard Brake's in this movie. Thank God. No lines, and we never see him ever again.
He was probably one of the strangers.
Maybe he was. You know what? Maybe he was the little short girl with.
That'd be how. That's how they do it.
That'd be pretty awesome. Yeah. Anyway, final word on Strangers Chapter 1. You got my butt in the seat by promising me Richard Brake, and you spit in my face. I hate you.
Another horror movie, In a Violent Nature. This one is, as I understand, I only know this as a movie that is like Friday the 13th, but significantly violent. And in the perspective of the killer, as I understand, right?
Yes.
Did you both see this already?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Ryan, you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah. So it kind of begins with
early screening. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's out now, but it's a Shudder thing. So I think they're going to have it in theater, like a limited thing for like a week or two, and then it'll be put on Shudder. But yeah, it's from the perspective of the killer. So basically, it begins with like you kind of like hear off screen like the classic like teen college people doing their thing.
The people who be the protagonists.
Yes.
Of a Friday the 13th.
And they're off screen, and you just kind of like hear them do the general thing that would activate the killer in one of these types of movies. And then like they leave, and then like you see the killer come out of the ground, and then it's very like third-person video game-esque of you following him, doing his thing, going about killing. You know, as he's like basically tracking down these kids, as well as just anyone else who gets in his way. And it's very interesting. There's a lot of shots of him just walking,
It's very funny.
which is very funny. There's lots of violent gore when eventually he does find someone. He like really lets him have it. But what I like about this is the way it plays with like the cliches of the genre. So like he like walking to the people, or he's watching them from the distance, and you just kind of like hear them go through like the beats of how these movies go. Like, there was that weird thing in the photograph. Shut up, bitch. There's nothing going on here. But like it's all like distant as
We're out of beer.
Yeah,
as you want to look at this cool spider?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best line of the movie. That was amazing.
So
I
funny.
lost my goddamn mind.
Look at this cool spider I found.
Yeah. Just like stuff like that is just like said and done with, just because like, you know these guys and you're here because you don't care about these guys. You're here for something else. And I think that's a really cool way to do a film like this, especially from the perspective of the killer. The killer obviously doesn't have like an arc or any dialogue really.
Not really.
Like you understand his intentions.
Yeah, like we learn his backstory a little bit, and they steal his necklace that his mom gave to him or whatever, and we get a little bit of a flashback of his dad.
Yeah. But yeah, you don't really get much because it's not kind of being that kind of thing. But I also do appreciate how like as the movie goes along, you find out that this is like this is like the fourth time it's happened. And like that's just like a nice thing to be like, oh, this shit has happened a few times, and they need to deal with it. This is how they deal with it.
We would be on 3 or 4 of this guy's franchise.
Yes.
From the other way around.
And I just think that's really cool. And then yeah, violent ending is interesting. I had to like Google who that lady was.
Yeah, I had no clue.
She was in like 3 Friday the 13th movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would have landed big if I had seen any of those movies besides the first one and the 6th one.
So yeah, that definitely like leads it more into like, you know, just respecting that genre and like where it came from and what it's going forward. But yeah, just a cool movie. Anything else you want to add, Carrie?
No, not really. I agree. It's
very
a
funny
fun,
too.
Yeah, because I'm not really a slasher person. I don't really like. I like something a little supernatural to be happening. I like there to be a ghost or a demon or something. So I in general don't find a guy who is evil just cause.
Yeah.
As fun, but this was an interesting take on it, and I really enjoyed the silly lines and deliveries from all of the fodder. It was very funny.
Is it violent to the point of grossness?
Yeah.
There's a couple. There's one kill in particular that is like the highlight of the film, and it's very, very ridiculous. But those are like far between. So you'll get a sequence of the violence. And nothing ever. There's the one that I'm sure everyone is going to be talking about with this movie. But nothing ever reaches that part as much, in my opinion. But it's gross, but not. It's also hilarious, but also I might not be the person to ask about this.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you feel nauseous at any point or upset?
The one scene, the cliff scene, that was very gross.
Yeah.
Also, I think a little unnecessary on his part. I think he could have just stabbed her the one time.
I disagree.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, I think the thing with me is I was like, oh, is it gonna do like anything to reach that? And I think stuff like, not really, but like it does different stuff too than that. Like the lumber mill thing was very graphic and a long scene. But like it just kind of was like its own different thing of, you know, how he does it. So you kind of like think like, okay, he tries to mix it up, this guy. But yeah, it is very violent. So if you're squeamish, I would just be advised that it gets gross.
It's not like an unrelenting gore fest, like Terrifier or something.
Okay, then, then maybe I'll watch this then. Because I have no interest in Terrifier.
Yeah, no, it's got some. It's just like the kills are the same sort of kills that you would see in a Friday the 13th, but they're just dialed up.
It's also like it's clearly trying to be ridiculous with it.
Yeah. Sure.
Terrifier is like, isn't this fucked up?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, but like it's just not fun. But like this is like, it's gross, but like it's silly because like it's like, this is disgusting. And that kind of makes it not feel like as like, you know, it doesn't feel like a torture porn from someone who just likes seeing gross shit.
Yeah.
This is more.
It just feels like someone with an imagination being like, what would be a silly way to kill this person?
What would be too far?
The most extreme way possible.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe I will watch this. All right.
It is fun. I would recommend this.
Okay. All right. In a violent nature, folks.
Just because it's a different kind of.
Yeah. It's unique.
It's a very unique horror movie. It's the kind of stuff that like you want Shudder to do more.
Okay.
Because they either do stuff like this or like a generic ass thing.
I love that Walmart DVD aisle, folks.
Oh, it's a great aisle. It never goes away.
The last movie on this incredible journey of a lot of movies is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, directed by George Miller, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth. This is a prequel to Fury Road, and the 5th Mad Max movie. Going into this movie, I had no expectations because I decided to set low expectations because I went into Fury Road when it first came out with no expectations. I think I went mainly because Greg liked Mad Max a lot. Yep. And I was like, sure, why the fuck not? I don't know anything about this. And I was just blown the fuck away. Just gobsmacked 30 minutes in that movie being like, this is the beginning of the movie? What's happening? And so I was like, I'm going to set my expectations low, and it's a prequel, and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I think I'm the most negative on this movie. So yeah, I don't know. Carrie, what'd you think of this one?
I liked it. I thought it was interesting, and it wasn't as like, I don't know. Fury Road felt a little more bombastic, and this wasn't necessarily that. It had a lot. It had like some amazing sequences.
The name is not incorrect. It is a saga. It is multiple things told out through a lot of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, and I liked the journey that we went on with this character, and I love the character, so it felt like a fun side exploration, some supplemental material for Fury Road, and it was a visual treat, as they say. And it's got the guy who played the boyfriend in The Souvenir in it, and I love him.
Was he the guy who was definitely not Mad Max?
Yeah, was he the driver?
The guy with the paint on his head. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Praetorian Jack or whatever the shit.
Okay.
Guy's like, I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know about Fury Roading.
And she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Yeah, Ryan, what'd you think of this? You were not that big on Fury Road.
No, I remember walking out of that movie and be like, that was all right. And then
Then the world
was like, that was the greatest action movie ever made, and it's nominated for an Oscar.
Accurate.
It's like, what the hell? Like I was so like, I guess people like cars more than me. Like that was my main thing. But like, yeah, as someone who doesn't like, I respect Mad Max a lot just because like it looks so beautiful. But like I just did not care for the story. And like a lot of that same stuff was here. I think I like this movie a little more than Mad Max for the sole purpose of, you know, the antagonist of Mad Max, Joe, whatever his goddamn name was. Immortan Joe. Like, he was just weird, and he like,
I mean, he is a weird guy.
He's just a weird guy, but like he didn't feel like he had any real personality or like stakes with like the character. Like I know they had stakes with the characters, but like I didn't feel that connection. But with Chris Hemsworth's antagonist role here, I was just so much more entertained by, and I understood, you know, what was going on there, just because he wants to be Immortan Joe, but he lacks a lot of the fundamental skills to do that, but he believes with so much certainty that he can reach this level. And I like, and obviously it has a lot more of like his sense of humor, which he's a very funny guy, except in Love and Thunder. And I just liked that antagonist a lot more than Immortan Joe, and that's what kind of like made it go up a little bit more than me. But again, like it felt like each chapter you were just being dropped into something, and then I was like, I don't fully understand what this, like where are we going and why right now. And then I was like, oh, I don't care. So that was the main thing. And then, and yeah, I don't know. Just like, it's fine. Again, much like with Mad Max Fury Road, they're both fine films. Yeah, George.
Yeah, I think Carrie nailed it on the hand. Like, it does feel like supplemental material for sure. And that's not a bad thing, but for some, I don't know why that notion bothered me so much while watching this, because it 100% is a prequel. It is that, like, yeah, let me explain to you, like, what Immortan's posse was before all this. Like, the son before it, that looks like Walton Goggins, but that was not Walton Goggins, right?
No.
Okay.
I would have freaked out.
Yeah, that's not Walton Goggins. But yeah, and like, let's explore Gastown, and let's explore the Bullet Farm a little bit more, and of course Furiosa herself, and the land of many mothers, and all this stuff. But I was just like, I don't care that much. I'm like, I like it. Like, I thought the thing I love about Fury Road is that it is going 100 miles an hour, and it takes just enough time to let you explain, like, okay, I understand that. Okay, cool, I got it. Cool, mother's milk. Okay, cool. He locks them in there because they need pure, like, blah, 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 because of the radiation. Okay, got it. Cool, great, good. Let's move it. Let's ride. Perfect. But in this movie, it's the opposite. I was like, okay, like, let's hang out. Let's explain it a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit more. And also, this is a prequel, so we are hanging out, like, I mean, I don't know. It is visually the same as Fury Road, but if George Miller started Mad Max now, would it always look like Fury Road? Because obviously those other movies are very different from each other. Like, the first Mad Max is made with like $10, and then Mad Max 2 is it's a little bit higher budget, and then Beyond Thunderdome is very different from the other one. So like, they're all visually distinct, and this one it looks like Fury Road. So I'm like, okay, I was kind of hoping to see something that I never saw, because when I saw Fury Road, I was like, I have never seen anything like this. Mm-hmm. And this is more Fury Road. I was like, that's cool. It's done well. but I wasn't like, it's a spoiled brat sort of thing. Was like, yeah, I saw this before. It's like what was I say? Like it's like in video games when like somehow Ryan like the remake or like the remaster of a game scores lower than the original. It's because with the original you set the expectation already. Like I know what it is. Like at that time I was like, whoa, this is new. And then you brought it back. I was like, it's a little inherently less impressive because so I'm being a little spoiled baby.
Before,
I was like, yeah, I'm being a little spoiled baby. I was like, yeah, but like, you know, you kind of did this already. And that's largely what I think Annie Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth are fucking fantastic. Chris Hemsworth is having so much fun. I'm so happy.
This is
for
the
him.
first time I think I've seen his real accent in a movie. Is that fair to say?
Australian. Yeah, that's
Finally
exactly.
Australian.
That's what he sounds like all the time in Australia. Oh, and he's talking, hey, brother, yes, this is how we talk, isn't it? The Witcher, that's crazy.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it bummed me out. Honestly, I thought about Thor and Love and Thunder. I was like, man,
So bad.
you needed somebody.
He apologized for that movie recently.
I mean, it's not his fault. It's the director.
No, I know
Everyone
it's not
else
his
is about,
fault, but I would like an apology.
yeah, it's true. But somebody should make them was like,
Guys,
Like,
really?
like, fucking relax.
yeah, like a little bit, like, because he's charming as hell. He's so funny. Him and his little bear. Like, that's the stuff I loved. And in some way, if this movie got a sequel, I'd have the whole story about that bear and like, oh man, dude, like there's just stuff in Fury Road that just exists,
Yeah.
And that's cool.
and it's fucking awesome. And again, it's like the Star Wars prequels thing where it's like, all right, well, let me go back and explain why this thing. And
Here's how the Force works.
Midichlorians, great, I love that stuff, man. And so that's the number one problem with this movie is it's a well-made movie. It's fucking fantastic. Actually, I think some of the green screen looks rough. Personally, I think it looks pretty bad at moments at the beginning of the movie. And even the green screen in Fury Road doesn't look good in hindsight. But this is a brand new movie, and
It should be better.
It should be better. Yeah. But yeah, this is awesome. It's a bummer that it's not doing as well as it. I don't understand. Honestly, I'm confused. I'm confused. Because I thought, like you said, Ryan, I thought we all culturally agreed that movie was incredible. And so wouldn't you want to see another one of those?
I remember reading a thing where someone, like an article where it's like, it's too late for a movie and that's why it's not doing well. It's like, I don't think that's true at all. Because like Mad Max like was this like cultural like
I think it was like 14. It was like a decade and change.
It was 2015, which is a long time ago, but like it was like
12, 13 years.
It has like stayed like in the public conscience of like good action movies.
It's in the goddamn Space Jam 2.
Yes, it's people still talk about that movie, so there's no bad time to make a sequel for it. Or
you
a
keep
prequel
making
or
Terminator
whatever.
movies somehow.
So I don't know.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And now if did bad, if is now
Thank
climbing,
God.
if is now clowning on this movie now. So anyways, yeah, Fury Road. God bless you, George. I'm sorry that every motherfucker who interviewed George Miller should have, before you interviewed, should have seen 10,000 Years of Longing. 3,000 Years of Longing before that, because goddamn, that's a fucking movie.
Holy
Jesus
hell.
Christ. So yeah, I don't know. I'm glad it exists, is what I'll say. It's cool. It's neat. Yeah. That's it. We do have some movies. Speaking of movies that, speaking of there's movies we didn't see that we'll say some things about. I thought, sure.
Why didn't we watch these movies?
We didn't get to do our upcoming.
Yeah.
Where we like to talk about a bunch of bullshit and then be like, well, we're not gonna.
So
fucking
let's
watch
talk
that.
about a bunch of bullshit. Ryan and Carrie, you two have destroyed cinema by not wanting to watch The Fall Guy.
I'm sorry your wife wanted to see The Fall Guy.
I want to watch The Fall Guy.
Why?
Because it looks like a fun movie.
Go watch it.
We're not stopping.
I haven't had time. But
The
weird
Fall
thing-
Guy just like it just felt like
It's not Ghosted.
it's not. No, it just feels like
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what that is.
That fucking Apple TV movie with
because like
Hamza Armos.
it just feels like a Deadpool like silly thing. Because everyone's like all like quippy in like a Deadpool sense, and I don't like that. Like, I love Ryan Gosling. He's hilarious.
You like Ryan Gosling?
I want him to do more things and be more comedic and stuff, but like, this just did nothing for me. And it has like a pretty good cast, too. Like, it has him. It has Winston Duke is in it. Isn't Stephanie Sue in it? Sue?
Yes, she is actually.
Yes. So like, there's like cool people in it, but like something about that same goddamn trailer was just like
blockbuster rom-com-y fucking.
No.
I don't. George, I'm sorry. This is a fundamental difference between you and I, and you're just gonna have to be okay with it.
We don't want Marvel movies. We don't want the Fall Guy. What do we want? These theaters won't pay for themselves, folks. But the good news is the Fall Guy is making money now. It's at a long tail. So that's the good news. Is like the interesting thing about that and If is apparently making more than Mad Max is that. Maybe we're back to long tail and don't put all your bets on the first week, which would be nice for every movie.
Would be nice.
So we'll see. I don't know how the Garfield movie. First of all, I love Garfield. Garfield's great.
Garfield's great.
We respect Garfield in this house.
Crestfallen that this movie is shit. It looks awful. I saw that trailer, that first trailer, which was like, it takes a bit before Chris Pratt talks, and as soon as he talks, I'm like, what have you done to my boy?
So
this
stupid.
is terrible. This man. I don't know this man. But yeah, I'm interested to see with Garfield, because Garfield was not doing the numbers a Garfield movie needs to do.
I'm gonna watch this as soon as it comes out on streaming.
You don't need to
it'll
do that.
it'll be on like Paramount Plus like very soon. And
No, it's gonna be Netflix probably, because it's a Sony movie.
Oh, it is. But Garfield's owned by Paramount.
That's
now.
a tricky dicky. Yeah, I don't know how
so
they're gonna figure
it
that
could
one
go
out.
anyway.
Anyways,
but
you have all the services.
I do, yeah. But I'm going to watch this as soon as I can on streaming, just because I'm fascinated by the weird decisions made in this. Because it's, Garfield animated. It's crazy how like, it's like this. It's like this weird like adventure. Like he's going like whoa, but like the comics are just like, oh, you ordered a pizza. Like, why are we going like?
Okay, people.
I don't get it.
People tell me that the Bill Murray movie was awful, horrendous. I, as a child who liked Garfield, loved it. Garfield's an Odie origin story.
I didn't watch it enough as a kid to have any memories
I love
of it.
it.
I just didn't remember watching it and loving it, and my parents were like, God.
But the concept of that movie is like, oh, Garfield and Odie just get lost from John.
Yeah, and that's fine.
It's a concept. Instead of like his dad. Who cares?
It's voiced by Samuel L. Jackson, which is very strange.
Who gives a shit? I never wondered this my whole life.
Yeah.
Who cares? Anyways, Normal shows up at the end of this movie.
Oh, hell yeah!
It's normal.
I love him. You gotta love him, folks. Anyways, what's the other movie on here?
If... I don't know how much we said.
There's nothing to say
If.
about If,
Yeah.
other than I'm sad that it's gonna do... It's actually... Yeah, because that movie... Well, any of the... I like Ryan Reynolds, fine. But this is just like... And there was the Patrick Williams video about like The Rock and how Rock... Like they've essentially made a perfect like when you watch a Rock movie, it has The Rock vodka. It has The Rock this and that. Essentially with Ryan, like his he owns his own advertising company, who does the Mint Mobile ads, his own fucking mobile company, and he's producing the movie. So it's like this cyclical cycle of bullshit.
Conglomeration is what's really making this.
And now John Krasinski is here too.
Great.
I don't like John Krasinski. I'm gonna say it. I don't like his face. I don't like his.
I feel
swag.
so embarrassed as someone who loved The Office for so long, and now it's just all terrible.
It's just weird, cause like I liked him like in that role obviously, and like he's been in like he's had bit roles since then, and A Quiet Place has its moments, but like this just feels like when I see this trailer, I feel like he hates he's like, I don't want to do this. Even that, he's like,
It feels like he maybe likes the Muppets.
Yeah.
He wants to make the Muppets, but not the Muppets.
And then he's like, I had this crazy idea where people saw Imaginary Friends. Like, yeah, it's called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, you goddamn idiot. It's on TV.
So, anyways,
But yeah, that did nothing for me, and I do not care.
and
And then Back in Black, that's the Amy Winehouse movie.
Looked bad.
this looks horrendous.
I don't know much about Amy Winehouse.
She's great.
I know that she's great.
And also, there is already a perfect movie about this, because like most of her rise to stardom was filmed and chronicled. And so one of A24's first movies was just Amy. And it's just like, here it is. Here's her life. No need to dramatize it. No need to do the whole song and dance.
That's boring. I want to see someone play her, and so I can be impressed by how well they embodied her, George.
Like, wow, this story is crazy. Did it happen?
Anyways, this movie better bomb because I hate seeing it and I hate that it exists.
I didn't see any trailers for it, really.
No, I think they've
That
tried
might be
to.
good.
Maybe the music biopic is finally out the door because nobody saw that
Thank
Bob Marley
God.
movie either.
God,
I think my mom saw the Bob Marley one.
We need to re-release Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story,
That's
and
this-
then finally
this would be the perfect
put it in
time.
a bullet.
Perfect time, yeah.
Just done. We did this joke. Like we killed this. Stop. It's insane. Anyways, what a good movie. He has to think about his whole life before he performs every time, folks.
I'm just gonna say because the next movie in June on our
Welcome
list
to
because we're
June.
gonna talk about June movies. Bad Boys Ride or Die. They really fucked up by calling the third movie in the Bad Boys trilogy
Yeah.
Bad Boys Forever.
Yeah, they did.
Just a dumb move on their part. Also, this movie looks like horse crap.
It's not Michael Bay. Also,
It's not Michael Bay, but
That's
I have no connection to the Bad Boys movies.
me either. I never saw them.
Um,
I'd like to watch him now as an artifact because it was early on in Michael Bay's. Because Michael Bay is just one of the guys, and you could definitely tell that by the way he shot Megan Fox in Transformers.
oh yeah.
And this is before that, like, and so he was full on like, "What are you, gay? Will Smith? Come on, bro!" Like it's just full on that shit. And so I'm fascinated as a relic, as a society, to rewatch.
But
this.
you don't. But the
But I
return
kn-
to this world
No.
as probably the only franchise Will Smith could do for a little bit.
Exactly. That's why, like, this is easy money.
Yeah.
This is easy money. So safe for Martin Lawrence. Like, this is like,
What has Martin Lawrence been doing?
fuck all. That's what.
Man. Did he do something weird too? Is that why he's not in movies, or is
No,
or
I
just
think
not?
these people are tired of Martin Lawrence. You know.
Okay, that's fair. I have no problem with Martin Lawrence.
No, I'm not. Martin. I like that show. But yeah, this is easy money. Good for them, I guess. I don't know. Hitman. Not to be confused with the Fall Guy. What's Hitman?
Oh, that's the Richard.
Richard Linklater.
Yes.
Oh fuck! What?
Glenn
Okay.
Powell movie.
It is a Netflix movie though.
Mm.
So
It played. I think they did like one screening of it. Here.
yeah, I think so. Or there were
Man.
some screenings, but yeah, it's gonna be a Netflix movie, and apparently it's pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard
I
good
will
things.
say again, Netflix is an organization who hates, like, just out of spite, they don't like releasing their movies theatrically because Glass Onion could have made a shit ton of money, but fuck you. That's what.
Right, yeah.
This movie would have made a shit ton of money. Now that I've just on Glenn Powell and the high score, I'm like, yeah, people love that guy.
Mhm.
People love this man.
I think they care too much about TV. But they want to buy up all these like talented directors
Yeah,
to like
yeah,
make
'cause
stuff for them.
It's like it feels good, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, ha
But all they care about are shows that like you watch while you're on your phone. So like, I don't understand. That's a thing they've said in things like this isn't enough of a second screen experience
Oh my
because
God.
like they intend that like someone is on their phone flipping through Instagram while
That's
they
funny.
are on a thing, and then you see
Rebel Moon, is that the name of that movie? I forgot already.
Rebel Moon
Okay, yeah, that's
the Scar Giver, because I deleted Rebel Moon from the list of stuff, but like there was an interview that fucking Zack Snyder had with Jonathan Rogan, where he was like, if you look at the numbers Netflix has, then this would have made $1 billion in the
right.
box office easily.
Whoa, that's crazy, man. Can
and
we
it's
get
like,
a picture
wow,
of the
why-
Scar Giver on screen right now?
Yeah. Can you walk to anyone and be like, who is this? And they'll be like, oh, that's the Scar Giver. Also known as the Child of Fire. Did you see this movie? Oh, by accident, it kind of just autoplayed. It's like, oh no.
Inside Out 2 finally happened. Bing Bong, you know? I'll watch this, sure. I like Inside Out, fine.
Oh, why not?
This movie will make a lot of money, and there's a lot of movies coming out this summer that Disney needs to fucking hit. And this one needs to fucking hit, and I think
Yeah, they should re-release the first Omen.
that's so
That's
true.
how they'll make their money.
But yeah, I'll watch this.
Yeah, I'm
I have
curious
no
to
problem with it.
rewatch Inside Out and this one now, knowing that Kyle MacLachlan voices the dad. Now that I know who Kyle
It
MacLachlan
feels
is.
if it changes the way you feel at all.
What I don't like about this is for a lot of the supporting roles, like Because like Bill Hader voiced fear, I think,
Mm-hmm.
or anxiety, or one
Fear.
of fear. Yeah,
Anxiety is new.
Anxiety
is one of the new ones. Yeah, and they replaced him for this one because they didn't want to pay him more money.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's rough.
And
Yeah,
they did that with,
sucks.
I think, maybe they also did with Minnie Kaling and the other guy too.
That didn't sound like Mindy Kaling. Now
Yeah,
you
I
said
thought it didn't sound like Bill Hader as well.
And
I
it
was
was
like, oh,
and it
weird.
was strictly like, you know, they didn't want to give them a raise for the sequel.
That's stupid.
That's rough.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck you guys.
Is Amy Poehler the only one that like we can't
Amy
replace
Poehler, like they
And
can't replace her,
Phyllis.
and Phyllis, because you know.
And also they're like, what are we paying her anyway?
Yeah.
You know?
But they were the two main characters of the other ones. Like, well, we gotta have them back, but
Right.
who gives a shit about?
Is
these
it even
guys?
Kyle MacLachlan as a dad now?
Shit.
Probably not.
This might be a wash.
The Watchers. I really wish this movie had that one trailer, and that's it. I am seeing too much of The Watchers. I just want to watch it. Just want to watch it.
I'm fascinated seeing what M. Night Shyamalan's children's take
I'm excited
on
for
film
this
would
movie.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
So I'm excited.
I'm really excited. Again, I just wish I could have just watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah.
I liked it when M. Night retweeted the trailer and said whoever made this must have had a messed up upbringing.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Oh, Dad.
He gets it. We don't always like his movies, but he gets it.
Maybe you don't always like his movies.
I speak for this podcast, Gary. I'm sorry.
But also, he has a movie himself coming out soon, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah. What's coming out?
And
Trapped.
Yes.
Trapped.
And
Trapped.
she is in Trapped, I believe.
Oh, is she?
Damn.
I thought.
I'm pretty sure as well. So yeah, I'm hoping this is good. I like Micah Monroe. She's back, folks. She's got 2 movies this year. It's pretty bad.
Was it her? Is she in this, or is it one of the
Oh,
Fannings?
it
No,
is.
it's Dakota Fanning.
Is it really?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because I was like,
I mean,
thought
I'm
that
pretty
was,
sure.
I don't know which one of
Welcome
the Fannings
in.
it is, but I was like, I think that's one of the Fanning
that L.
faces.
I would have
No,
noticed
it's
that.
not. George would have been locked in.
Yeah.
So-
Dakota's the older Fanning, right?
Correct.
Okay.
She was the Legacy Fanning.
Okay.
Cat in the Hat.
The legacy of the Fanning.
The Bike Riders is finally coming out.
When did we see this poster or trailer? 2 years ago?
Yes.
A long fucking
I'm
time.
so I don't know what this movie's about.
Is this a Disney movie too?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Or a 20th Century Studios movie?
Listen. All you had to tell me was that you got Tom Hardy, we got Austin Butler, and we got Michael Shannon in this movie,
Mhm.
and at least Tom Hardy and Austin Butler and Jodie Comer. They're
Mhm.
all in it, and they're all doing silly little voices, and they're wearing their little jackets. On
And,
their little
Mike
bikes.
Feist of the Challengers as well.
That's true. That's
Norman
true.
Norman
Norman
Reedus is in
Reedus
this.
is in it. Of
'cause
course, he's got a bike. And like,
he's
what are you
always
gonna do?
got a bike.
Not put him in the Bike Riders?
You probably just showed up on set like, are you kidding me?
Is this the movie that there were posters for in Death Stranding?
Oh man,
No, that was his show.
riding with Norman Reedus. On
That was
MC.
his
Bike show.
reality bike show. With him just talking about bikes. It's very what a good game.
Great game.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm very excited for the Bike Riders, and I'm very excited to hear Tom Hardy be like, "We're gonna go to the bike."
Yeah,
for 2
I was
hours.
just getting higher with every movie I'm in.
But yeah, I know nothing about the filmography of Jeff Nichols. I've not seen Midnight Special or Mud.
Midnight Special
Midnight
is
Special's
very
good,
interesting.
yeah.
It's an interesting film.
Okay. But yeah,
Michael Shannon's pretty good in that movie.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So yeah, I'm excited for this. I think I saw the trailer first, but now I'm like, that cast is fucking stacked. Yeah, I'll watch whatever the fuck they're doing there.
Yeah, I think this one was a pushback from the strikes and everything.
Yes.
So
And then pushed even farther than that, I think, because this is.
yeah, it's been a minute.
I think
a
it
good
changed distributors.
It
Probably,
did also
yeah.
change the
Yeah,
city.
because there was an interim there where I was like, "Is that movie ever gonna
Coming
come
out?
out?"
Yeah.
And
So-
the answer is yes. And I'm going
It's
to
both.
the...
It's both a distributor would put out trailers and then backpedal. Like, actually, we can't
Never
profit
mind,
off of
sorry,
this.
You didn't see anything.
Okay. And Kinds of Kindness. I'm excited for
This
this.
movie looks
Oh
awesome.
my god, these trailers are fucking incredible.
I saw someone who saw an early screen said it was hornier than Poor Things,
That's
Oh.
crazy.
which I am fascinated how that's even possible. But yeah, I like the trailer. I like Jesse Plemons. He's
I
great.
understand that Jesse Plemons fucks in this movie.
It's about time.
I know that he won the acting award at Cannes for this, so
Oh.
I'm excited to dive in. It's gonna be fun.
It's a good cast. Emma Stone.
I like that this
Well,
was...
Virgie now likes to be called Emily Stone. Like, she's getting annoyed of being called Emma. So that's funny.
I thought it was the last... Was that what it was? I thought it was the last thing that changed. But whatever.
Yeah. I think she legally can't have it be Emily because there's someone else in SAG.
Yes. Yes.
Emily Stone.
And she was just starting off.
Yeah. But yeah, it has... who's a lady from...
Margaret Qualley from Death Stranding.
She's in that, but I'm thinking of the lady from the menu.
Yes, yeah.
Hong Chow.
Hong Chow's in it. Hunter Schafer's in it.
Willem
Willem Dafoe's in it.
Yeah.
Great cast of weirdos, which I appreciate.
One of my favorite things about the release of Kinds of Kindness was that because of Poor Things, it's a notable movie for Disney to have on their slate, and so it was on their investors thing with like Inside Out and fucking Wolverine and Deadpool, and that was really bizarre to see it like on a Marvel-esque timeline.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyways.
I can't wait till Sora visits Bella Baxter, the next Kingdom Hearts.
The Exorcism.
Oh.
I can't
I'm
believe
sure
Russell
you-
Crowe.
Oh, baby.
Okay, right. This is the Russell Crowe.
This is a Russell Crowe. This is a different Russell
This is
Crowe.
not
not the Pope's Exorcist. Russell Crowe was like, you know what? I really like these exorcism pictures because we're getting another Pope's Exorcist. Thank God. God is real. But then this movie is about Russell Crowe playing an actor in a movie about an exorcism, but he starts getting possessed by the movie.
That sounds awesome. Yes,
Oh my
yes,
God.
yes.
It looks very silly. It looks very corny. Like, the trailer looks very silly, but you know what? I'm going to be seated. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Because in the trailer, they're like, the girl who's in the movie is like, lots of bad things happen on scary movie sets, like on, what did she say? Like on Poltergeist or The Exorcist. And I'm like, I'm so excited. This movie's going to be hilarious.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to this as well. Quiet Place Day 1. You know? I will say though, again, George's been bad about getting actors right, but this has Lupita Nyong'o in it, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not crazy.
Her and the guy who played the long-haired guy.
In
the
Stranger Things
guy.
And I love Lupita Nyong'o, but I don't like not Stranger Things. Quiet Place, and so I'm very torn on this. Where I'm like,
I can't remember. I know. Oh my! I was going to say Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski.
Same shit.
He's not directing.
He's not directing. I don't know if he did any writing for it, but like I'm hoping with
it's still Platinum Dunes. It's still
that can be hit or miss in terms of entertainment value at least. So I'm hoping maybe with that it'll do something, but like
It's the director of Pig.
What?
That's right. I remember hearing about that. And being like, what the hell? This is an epidemic. We have.
And this
to
is
stop.
written by him. It's written by him as well.
Oh, okay. So this might have some stuff to it.
Maybe.
It might have some heart, but still, it's a Quiet Place
John
prequel.
Krasinski is also credited as the secondary writer, of course.
John Krasinski saw Pig and was like, wow, that really affected me. And you know what? Same, John. Same.
Wow, you can do that with film? Have it be emotionally gripping. Let's go in with the first Omen energy of like, you know what? Anything's possible with the prequel. Anything's possible with the prequel.
I like
clearly.
that. I like that. I'm willing to do that.
But still, A Quiet Place kind of blows.
Yeah.
There's no goddamn reason people place that above Hereditary on their best best horror movies of the year list that year. Did you watch?
I think people just had a good time at the movie theater. Is that what it was? Which is fair.
Fair enough. But I will forever have smoke with that movie because of that. Because that's stupid. That's just wrong. I'm sorry.
I simply wouldn't have given birth.
I mean, you know.
I wouldn't have done that.
What would you have done?
I would have not gotten pregnant.
I would have not stepped on that nail.
I would have avoided all like characteristically loud activities. Well, it feels like those people went out of their way to do those things. All right, that's just me though.
Yeah, that movie's very silly.
Anyways, Quiet Place Day 1. The Quiet Place is also forever connected with me with the pandemic because the second one was supposed to come out at the start of the pandemic, and so there was like snacks with the Quiet Place Part 2, and those snacks remained on the shelves for like a year after. Anyways,
my favorite part of the Quiet Place Part 2 is the prequel part at the beginning of the movie where someone was like, "Is that Jim?"
Jim from The Office.
And it's like, dude, this is the sequel.
I forgot about
What are you talking about?
Jim from The Office.
Why are people... And look, I get it. People forgot and rewatched The Office during the pandemic, but come on, guys.
My favorite part of A Quiet Place Part 2 was when Emily Blunt was like, I am not ready to move on from my husband. I'll love him forever. And then she meets Cillian Murphy, and then she's like, I am now ready to move on.
Fair.
All right, he was in that. Anyways, that's all the movies, folks. That's the podcast. 2 hours, not that bad.
That's our own mistake.
Ryan Lance, if people could, look where you're gonna rewatch all of A Quiet Place Part 1 and Part 2 and lead up to day
It's
1.
not gonna happen. But if it did happen, you could go to letterboxd.com/filmpiece. That is me. I can't think of anything interesting that I've watched recently, but I'll eventually watch something interesting again, and I'll probably write about it.
You know what? I'll get to it when I get. But I was gonna say, I did not watch A Quiet Place in a theater, and I'm bummed about that because I probably would have had more respect. Again, I think people just had a great time in the movie theater, and they feel very attached to it. And you know what?
It was a unique experience.
Yeah. Anyways,
cool.
Carrie, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Letterboxd just by searching my first name, Carrie, Karrie. I am planning a Mike Flanagan rewatch of his shows because I finally watched Fall of the House of Usher and loved it, and I rewatched all of Hill House and still loved it. So, Bly Manor rewatch incoming.
You can find me at jcruzolivers26. I saw the Criterion did a 4K of To Die For, Gus Van Sant's To Die For, starring Nicole Kidman.
Oh right.
Whew! Whew!
Correct.
What a picture. Holy shit, Nicole Kidman. God damn, bro.
I agree.
Great film. Check it out on 4K. Yeah, that's it. Until next time, bye-bye.